Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video, and in this video, I'll be doing an overview of The Flash, Jay Garrick. This is Jay Garrick, The Flash Age. I'll be talking about the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So, let's take a look at the box. This side, the back, which I really like the art. The other side, top and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. As always, you do come with the card. This is the front of the card looks like. The back of the card. It comes with these two extra hands. This is his right open hand. Hold on, my camera can pick it up. Not much to it. Very simple, clean looking hands, right? And then, of course, his left hand. And again, very similar to the other one, just open hands. And it also comes with the first time ever from McFarlane, DC Multiverse, first time ever, lightning bolts. And for those of you who don't know, that is called sarcasm. If you have collected McFarlane figures, especially Flash, you probably have a bunch of these. But this one does come with lightning bolts, which, hey, I can't hate on it, you know, but we have a lot of these lightning bolts. But there's one right there. And then I'll show you another one right there. Here's a more longer one, more of a longer streak. Pretty cool. And last but not least, a very messy streak of lightning bolt, if that makes any sense. Clear. I like it. And of course, it comes with a regular set that he's on. Now let's take a look at Jay Garrick. I gotta say, right off the bat, I really like the head sculpture. The head sculpture looks good. Very classic looking Jay Garrick. The face sculpture looks really, really good. Very clean looking. But you got painted blue eyes. You got the hair, which I didn't think it could come with the hair. I thought it was actually going to be bald. Basically like a head swap compared to the other one, which I'll compare it in a bit. But no, this one does have a hair on him, which looks really good. You got the painted lips, painted cheeks on there. Head articulation, left and right. Very good. Up, down. Limited due to the back of the hair. That's unfortunate. But this head articulation, left and right. But very, very good looking Jay Garrick figure. Head sculpture looks really, really good. Of course, he has his hat on here. Nice, bright, shiny silver on there. And of course, the logo on there too. And what I like about it is this one also has a little bit of a sculpture design on there too. You guys can see that. Little wings on there. On the very, very subtle, but very, very good. It looks really good, man. This is a good looking head sculpture, man. I really dig it. Very clean looking head sculpture, man. The hat looks good. And the hair looks good too, man. I dig it. I dig it. Shoulder articulation, good. Bicep, good. Elbows, good. Wrist, a little stiff right now, but good. Torso, good. So the upper body, upper torso articulation is good. And the sculpture design, very clean looking, very buffed out Jay Garrick. But that's how he looks like in the comics. Very clean looking, costumes. You can't go wrong with it. But of course, you got the nice, bright Flash logo on there in the dead center. And I gotta say, very clean looking Jay Garrick, man. Upper body looks good, very muscle toned. You can really see the muscle definition, which looks really, really cool. And I gotta say, man, I really dig it. I dig this figure, especially it's a classic Jay Garrick, and I was really, really hoping for it because we got another Jay Garrick, which I'll show you in a bit. And don't get me wrong, I liked it, but it just kind of, when I saw that figure, the newer one that came out, the Jay Garrick one, I was like, it's cool, but I want that classic look of Jay Garrick. And here we are now. We got this one. I gotta say, it's a good looking figure, man. In terms of the texture, there's really not much to it. Again, just very, very muscle tone. It just essentially has a long sleeve on there. The only detail on here is going to be that Flash logo on there. And the Flash logo itself, it's a bit of like a matte look. There's a little bit of gloss, not a whole lot, but very, very, not glossy, but a little bit of shine to it, but it's mainly matte. But everything else, very, very clean looking color. So overall, though, what I think about the upper body, I dig it, man. I think it's a good looking Flash figure, and I really dig it. Clean, classic look. I'm digging it. Leg articulation, good. Knees, good. Ankles, good. Toes, good. So leg articulation, McFarlane, as always, very good. And in terms of the sculpture design, similar to the upper body, there's really not much to it. I mean, you got a little line on here as well, maybe kind of give it extra texture look. But in terms of texture, there's really much not to it. Just very muscle tone Flash. Again, that's how he looks like in the comics. Very, very simple, clean looking. You got the boots on there, which looks very, very cool. But again, very clean looking. But the feet do have that Flash, the little wings on there. And similar to the hat, where it has the little sketches on there. I don't know if you guys can see it. You can also see it here on the boot itself. Little sculpture on there, which is cool. Very subtle, but looks very, very cool, man. Overall, good, clean looking Flash figure, man. And I dig it. I really dig this figure. It's a classic look, and I'm digging it. Of course, the main question is this worth the purchase price? Personally, for 20 bucks, and for the accessories you're getting, which I know is the lightning bolts, we have quite a few, but actually, I gotta say, for $20 with the lightning bolts and the changeable hands, I mean, I gotta say, man, I think this is a good deal for 20 bucks, man. Classic looking Jay Garrick. You got the lightning bolts, which I know we have a lot of us. A lot of us have a lot of them, but you got the lightning bolts and you got changeable hands for 20 bucks. I'm gonna say, man, this is definitely a really good deal for 20 bucks. Again, $20. Now, there is two versions of this figure. There's this one, and there is the platinum, which I'll see if I can post a picture somewhere on there. There's the platinum one. Now, if you were to ask me, Mondo, which one would I choose? This one or the platinum one? Personally, I'm going to go for the platinum one. I like the color palette on there. The color palette looks much better than this one. Don't get me wrong. I like this one. This is a cool looking one. But I prefer the other color palette of the platinum one. And that is a chase. So if you can go to the store and find it, hopefully you do. But hopefully I get it. If not, though, it is what it is. Overall, would I recommend it? Definitely. This is easily a thumbs up for me. Articulation is good. The paint is good. Sculpture design, very clean looking, is good. I would rather much prefer the platinum one, but it is what it is, though. Now, is it one of those figures you go out there and get it like right away? I don't know about this one. I want to say, part of me wants to say, yeah, maybe get it just in case. But this is a classic looking Flash figure. And not many people are familiar with Jay Garrick. They always think of Barry Allen or Wild West. So it's one of those, like, maybe you might want to take a risk and wait for a sell. Maybe wait for a sell. Maybe, again, maybe. But to me, though, if you're a fan of this character and you like Flash, like I am, definitely recommend getting it. Even for 20 bucks, it's definitely a good deal. But nonetheless, so the Jay Garrick Flash figure by McFarlane gets a thumbs up for me. Here we have Kid Flash. This is the gold label McFarlane online store exclusive figure. And of course, Jay Garrick. Just showing you how he looks standing next to Kid Flash, which is a bit taller, scrawny, but definitely you can see the muscle tone on Jay Garrick. Definitely muscle tone, like really defined muscles. Again, good looking figure. And having these two side by side, I think they look well together. Here we have another Kid Flash, or should I say adult Flash, because he looks more mature and grown up. But nonetheless, so here we have Kid Flash and Jay Garrick. This is from the Dark Knight Build-A-Figure wave. I know it's from the... Is it from the Dark Knight's Metal storyline or wave? I can't remember. But I know it's a Build-A-Figure one. And of course, Jay Garrick. Both look good. A lot going on with this figure here with the Kid Flash one. Or Adult Flash, as I usually say. But just showing you how these looked standing next to each other. Here we have Jay Garrick with, I believe it's Godspeed. Yeah, it's the name Godspeed. Really underrated figure. The color palette is fantastic. And that head sculpture on the Godspeed looks really cool, man. And of course, standing next to Jay Garrick. They both look good, but this one definitely has like a more of like a modern look to it in terms of the sculpture design and paint. This one just definitely has a classic look, especially with the color palette. But nonetheless, so they both look good. But if you would ask me which one I prefer, that's tough. Because on the one hand, I want to say Godspeed, because I like the texture, the paint looks really good, and that head sculpture looks really good. But I also like this one because it's more of a classic look and very subtle. But if I had to choose only one and one only, I'm going to go for Godspeed, man. Because that color palette looks good, and that head sculpture looks really good. Don't get me wrong, I like this one. But if I had to choose between these two, I'm going to go for Godspeed. Here we have Jay Garrick with, I think it's Barry Allen, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, pretty sure it's Barry Allen. This is from the Dark Knight's Metal Build-A-Figure wave, similar to the other Kid Flash back there, or Adult Flash. But nonetheless, so just showing you how these look side by side. Both look good. And this wave just has like a weird look to the Flashes. It's not bad or anything. It just has really weird, especially when I compare it to the other one, Jake Garrick. But nonetheless, so I both like them very much. And last but definitely not least, we have Jake Garrick here. Similar to the other Flashes back there, this is also the Build-A-Figure for the Dark Knight's Metal. And this is the first Jake Garrick figure that they came out for DC Multiverse. Really good looking figure, so much going on. But when this figure came out, there's a couple issues with it. Well, not issues, but it just looked kind of weird. Is one, the shoulder pieces. It looks like the skin was like in horror movies, when they ripped out the skin, you know, you can see like the meat per se. That's what it felt like here when you looked at the shoulders right here. It kind of had that look to it. And so it threw me off, the shoulder pieces. It's a cool figure, but that always threw me off. But also it has a kind of like a modern, like metal type of look to it, which is cool. But for Jake Garrick, I don't know. I can't really see him like in a modern, like rock-ish, I don't know how you want to call it, but type costume. I'm more of this kind of look, classic look. And of course, the difference is going to be a lot more sculpture on this one. But what I thought though, this figure is actually bald. You can see that. There's actually no hair in the back. But for this one, the new one, the Jake Garrick one, it does come with hair. Very subtle distance, but also subtle difference, but very important. And another thing too is going to be the wings. On the wings on here, I don't know if my camera can pick it up, but the wings on here very plain looking. See that? I can't really see because of the light, but it's very plain looking. Not much to it, just paint. But for this one, it has, hopefully the camera can pick it up. It has that detail on there, like I mentioned earlier. It has that sculpture design on the wings. Very subtle, but again, it gives it an extra look to it. But nonetheless, so here how they look standing next to each other. Both Jake Garrick figures. And if you were to ask me which one I choose, I would prefer personally the classic one. Again, I'm not hating on it, but just the shoulder pieces throw me off on this. And this whole like modernized rock of Jake Garrick, like I said, when I think of Jake Garrick, I always think of classic. And so to me, I would prefer the Jake Garrick classic look. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this figure? Do you plan on purchasing this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. That includes an overview of the Flash Jake Garrick. This is Jake Garrick, the Flash Age, and on to the next one.